everyone. My name is Padmini Nidumolu, and I'm the co-founder of Lean and Agile for Women, a platform that was built to bring the women in agile and lean spaces onto this platform so we can support each other and we can seek from each other in a psychologically safe space because that's the need of the hour. We need a platform to raise the floor for each other, to speak our minds, to express ourselves. And we have had tremendous support from the community, and the community is coming together very beautifully. And as part of this organization, we launched an initiative called LIA100 or Lean and Agile 100. And this initiative brings 100 women to this platform with their stories, their journeys, their challenges, and whatnot, with the hope that their story inspires you all. Even if one of you get inspired, this effort is really worth it for us. So welcome to this platform, LIA 100. And today we have somebody from the beautiful country, Brazil, Carla Krieger. Hey, Carla, thank you so much for accepting my invite and being here. It means a lot to us.
Oh, hi, thank you for the invite. I'm grateful to be here with you today. And I hope that we can have a good conversation about the Agile, Lean, and congratulations for your amazing work with Lean in Agile.
Thank you, Carla. And I think it'll be a great conversation for sure. I'll do a quick introduction of you and we'll get into the conversation because you're going to tell us all about you and where you're coming from. So, Carla is very passionate about people and learning, and she's always ready to explore new ways of working that encourages a collaborative environment with diversities and delivering value and results according to a purpose that's set for the organizations and for individuals. She is an enterprise agile coach at Globo, and she's working in collaboration with WeMO in the implementation of Hub Digital's lean portfolio management. She's a mentor at startup called Kultua, and she's also a PMI-Rio DA champion. She's a speaker, she's a professor, and she's an Agile 20 Reflect Brazil ambassador, the festival that we are all celebrating right now. And she's a volunteer at Jornada Colaborativa. It's a Brazilian agile community. And I heard that it's a vibrant community in Brazil. So, she's championing that as well. Welcome again, Carla. We are
Thank
so
you.
honored to have you here. And I'm very excited and curious to understand how did you start in Agile? How did that journey begin? And how did you really travel with it, right? And be where you are today. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. So I started my Agile journey with the Extreming program in 2003, applying TDD, and since then I have adopted hybrid approaches, tailoring things with the focus in delivering value to customer. And an interesting that at that time I had just get my PMP certification, and I was working at AGP, and we was following some guides from PMBOK, and then a streaming program project fit perfect to our environment. And for me, well, it was when I realized that you don't need to work just with one approach. You can use the best tools and frameworks that best fit for the context. So I started my journey at 17, 18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a great experience because opened my mind for the contest and what real add value for a company when you want to deliver value to the customer. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And it's great that you started with extreme programming, right? I think the evolution since then, you must have seen the transition, the evolution of practices and methods,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
organization.
and at the time we was using RUP, Rational Unified Process,
Right.
in our company, and it supported the transition to extreaming program too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, that's fantastic to know. So, as you were going in that journey, Carla, right? What were some of the challenges that you encountered? Because I'm sure transitioning from all that, right, to being an agilist and truly enabling and empowering teams and being one of those empowered teams is not an easy journey at all.
No, no, and the biggest challenge it's the cultural, is to
Yeah.
change the cultural, the mindset, and for a long time I was uncomfortable with the tools and models that it's common to use it to treat cultural things. And during my research, I found the STC. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know, but it's a certification that is systemic transformation cultural. That with this, it's like a program that you attend, and you learn how to design and implement a process of system cultural transformation focused on improving key performance indicators of teams in organization, changing the beliefs, because if you don't change the beliefs and attitudes, you can change an organization or the way that an organization works.
Yeah.
So I can say that the biggest challenge is culture. And when you link key results with beliefs and attitudes, you can find the way to transform the way that people work, and the agile principles and pillars
Yes.
are more easier, is easier to work with the team and company if you work with their beliefs.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you mentioned that key results should be always coupled with behaviors and attitudes, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about those key results, or it's not even about the performance indicators, right? It is about how they can enable pivoting the behaviors and attitudes, leading to the outcomes that the organization need. So,
Yes.
yeah,
And being vulnerable, it's very important, because I think that the last 10 or 12 or 20 years, the behavior that we had to change as a leader is to become vulnerable. We don't know everything. There are a lot of ways of doing the same thing when you are leading a project or leading a continuous delivery, leading teams. And you have to work in co-creation, sharing the challenges, sharing that you don't know something, and the team you work with you. If
yeah,
you are transparent and have a clear purpose.
right. I think that's you nailed it, right? Because being vulnerable is the hardest thing to do, starting from executives all the way to the teams, right?
Yeah.
Teams are afraid to experiment and fail. So
Yes.
I think that is where, what you said, has so much relevance in terms of you have to be, ready to fail and to be vulnerable. So thanks for sharing that. Yeah. And as you kind of traveled through this journey of really coming into agile, and now you are a very active agilist, not just in your organization, you're a speaker, you're a trainer, and you're impacting the agile community in Brazil, right? how do you do this? What drives you to do this?
I love to explore new things, and I'm addicted in learning.
Okay.
I believe that when a person really learn new things, it's easier. But I believe in volunteer work to support a person in this journey, because volunteer work is not just a way of giving back, but it's a way of learning, co-creating, become a better people. And you, um, when you are in a volunteer environment, you can fail. You
Yes.
have a psychological safety environment. So if you don't have an opportunity in organization because it's too traditional, or in other jobs, in the volunteer environment, you can try.
Yes.
So the experience at the Agile 20 Reflective Festival has been fantastic, for example. And I have been volunteer since 2003. It started with PMI and I continue until now. And as you has already said, I am a volunteer at Colaborativa or Jornada Colaborativa, where in addition to scaling the writing of books with themes related to agility with volunteer co-authors, all the results of our books and events are donated to vulnerable
Wow.
people and the NGOs. So uh, I really believe that a way to start, to try to start your agile journey is being volunteer in an organization, in some place that you can try.
That is fantastic. You've been a great volunteer at Agile 20 Reflect, right? I have interacted with you, so I know what a passionate volunteer you are. And that actually brings me to the next question, Carla. When you associated yourself with so many organizations, starting from PMI, now the Agile, community in Brazil, and several festivals, conferences, etc. Do you see an intentional space that is being created for women, not just for volunteering, but also to speaking, to participating, and to lead? It was not as as desirable, right? In the past,
Yeah.
it's improving now, though. But in your experience, what did you see?
So I believe that there are some barriers yet, some blockers, but I don't know if it's the environment and cultural, maybe, but sometimes I think that most of women don't try. I heard for
Yeah.
a great friend that it's one of the leaders of the ONU,
Mm.
that he has a lot of opportunity for women in project management in ONU, but when he asked for the women fill out for the job, he perceives that most of the women don't think that they fit for that job just because they don't have one skill or one certification, one of the requirements for the job. And about men, he used to say that
Yes.
man doesn't care if he doesn't have one skill or one certification. He just applied for that.
Right.
Yeah. uh, uh, we are more, how can I say, critic with our capacity and our skills
I agree.
to some jobs or to be a speaker. I can see in Brazil that the opportunity are not equal, but are improving. But not all women that I know, then they are very good apply to be a speaker.
That's fantastic.
And
Yeah.
I think that we can change when the education for kids
Yes.
really will change. In my case, I have a daughter that loves stories about vampires, werewolves, and animals like wolves and snakes. And I only can find clothes with these themes in the sections for boys. I can find it for girls. Why?
Ah, right, right. No, that's a great point, right? And I don't think there is a logical explanation to that question. It's just unconscious bias, and it's the
Yeah,
belief that it only belongs to boys, right? I think that's the only explanation we are offered. So I know what you're saying, and it's a shame, right, that the perception still exists. Yeah, and I think we need more women like you who make their space, right, in volunteering and contributing, giving back to the community, and really creating that presence that is so much required, and really enhancing and amplifying the presence of women in the spaces. So thank you for everything what you do.
thank you. And I can say that I was blessed on my journey because I had experience of working companies led by women, and
Mm,
where there was no difference in salary or position due to the gender. I, of course, that I faced some harassment, especially at the beginning of my career,
well,
but I realized it only later because many times some attitudes are so deep in the culture
yeah,
that they become natural. And it's a shame. It's really
right.
a shame.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So as you are involved in the development of the community, right, in Brazil, so tell us, Carla, how you impact this community. What do you do? Because I want women who are watching this to kind of know how they can engage in a community that is closer to them. So they can actually not just give back to the community, but also learn, network, and really benefit from that, right? So how do you do it?
So I start sharing, but of course that I always looking for to join people that want to co-create, because I believe when we have a common purpose, it's natural.
Yeah,
It's so natural to the engagement and commitment. I believe in purpose. You have to have a real and important purpose for all people that are engaged in a volunteer environment, even if you are in your job, in your company. For me, it's the
yeah,
same. So yes, for me, it's the purpose. As I said, I start with sharing, but I'm looking for co-creation.
yeah. Because without co-creation, it just can't be done. It can be done in a siloed manner. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And when you co-create, and I know you do a lot of work in the form of books, and the sales coming out of that is going to nonprofit. So there's a lot of give back to the community that you do, and you have your day job. How do you strike the balance? Because I know for most women, I think one thing that we all struggle with is work-life balance, and I don't believe it really exists, in a
Yeah.
perfect proportion. But how do you balance it out, or how do you at least attempt to kind of give your best to your personal life and professional life?
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah,
I either don't believe that there is a perfect balance, but I have been working virtually for 12 years. So it's easier when you can work at home.
yes,
And I use it to mix work with volunteer tasks with my family. I know that's not the best practice, but for me it's worked very well. But since my daughter was born, I started to have a slot of time that's dedicated just for her.
Hmm.
Even if I mix my time with job and her, I have the time that usually is from 7 or 8 p.m. until 10 or 12, that I stay just with her with my cellular phone turned off.
Yes,
And it's a
exactly.
quality time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mix
Yeah.
my tasks, family and job and volunteer, but because I have been working virtually, that easier
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I love that a digital detox while you're spending with family, because otherwise it can, the phones or any gadgets for that matter can
Yeah.
cause for a huge distraction.
Yes.
So, yes, I agree with you. Yeah. So, what is your high dream for women in Brazil or even in South America, maybe a few years from now?
My dream is that all humans do what they want to do. Feel free. We have to enjoy our life, enjoy our job, enjoy our family. We don't need to do our work in a hardly way. Just be free. We can do anything. My dream is that the women in Brazil, in South America, feel free to be who they want to be.
Yeah.
This is my dream. Yeah.
Wow. And that'll be such an ideal situation, right?
Yeah.
For all of us, really,
Yes.
to feel free to do what we love to do. Wow. That's profound. So, as we wrap up, Carla, what is a message that you can share with our audience?
So the message that I can say is that try, explore, enjoy, or fail, because I I truly believe that I learn much more from my failures
Yes.
than from my success. So failure is part of. We are human.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of failures. So learn from them. It's not a shame. You can fall and wake up and stand up again and enjoy the journey.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. And I think, what is life without experiments?
Yeah.
Right? There is no manual, there is no blueprint for anything we do. So all that really, is experiments. So thank you so
Yes.
much for sharing that. It's about experiments, failures, and successes, right? There's nothing to be ashamed
Yeah.
of. Be vulnerable. That is profound. Thank you so much, Carla, for your time and for your wisdom today. And you're doing fantastic work for the
Thank.
community in South America. Please continue the work, and hopefully, we'll get to talk to you soon with, your work even more expanded than what it is now. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.